Hello comic fans, here's Earl Grey. It has been 4 years since this book Daidalos came out in German and a video had been made about it by yours truly. Amongst many other videos about the books by Charles Burns, which you can see in the background. Check out the playlist below the video. The video that dealt with Daidalos one was panellogy 319. In the meantime, we got Volume 2 and recently the conclusion with Volume 3. So far, nothing of it has been available in English as far as I know. But rejoice, English-speaking Burns fans, the whole shebang is solicited for September 2024 in one massive hardcover with more than 220 pages. It will be published by Pantheon. The somehow mysterious and oblique title daidalos of the German or dédales of the French version will now be replaced by the much more straightforward English title Final Cut. And you can call me Mr. Peppermint Tea if this book won't make it on many best-of lists this year. It's a masterwork, like everything else Burns has made. At least on the same level as Black Hole, in my opinion. In my older video about Volume 1, I claimed that Daidalos is very similar to his older stuff, but that first assessment was not really on point. Well, of course, nothing has changed in terms of the drawing style. Charles Burns' line work and signature hatching technique is still mind-boggling perfect. The coloring has improved, in my opinion, since Burns' X'd Out trilogy, indulging even more in saturated, splendidly simplified primary and local colors. So the combination of color and the thick, confident outlines gives the comic a seductive pop art appeal. But in terms of the story and the characters, a lot has changed since El Borba, and even in comparison to Black Hole and the X'd Out trilogy. The last cut is far more realistic than his predecessors, much more rooted in the, in quotes, real world than in the horror world of weirdness, tentacles and body horror, which was much more predominant in his older comics. We follow a group of late teens or young adults united by their love for horror movies and for making their own DIY movies. Well, actually, it's a bit different for each of the characters. Jimmy likes to feed his ego, getting kicks out of being the director, scriptwriter and cameraman in one person. For most of the other gang members, it's rather an excuse to make out with their partners. While for Brian, one of the other central characters, watching horror movies and doing his own movie is nothing less than an obsession, up to the point when the borders between reality, his visions and inspirations from movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers become blurry. And here are the parts when Burns' art and imaginations come closest to the art in, for an example, Black Hole. But in the final cut, it's pretty clear that these weird visions of floating cancer cell tentacle beings and similarly strange stuff just take place in Brian's brain. Or don't they? Well, Burns wouldn't be Burns if there would not be a lot of wiggle room to speculate, a lot of ambiguity. And a lot of his leitmotifs, like his visual metaphors or allusions to genitals. The best and quite disturbing example is some kind of penis-like fish, which becomes very vagina-like after the fish has been cut open. Nevertheless, Burns uses his familiar Burnsisms very cleverly here to craft a story that is surprisingly straightforward, eventually. It maybe would be even pedestrian if told by a lesser talent. but told through Burns' brilliant drawings and intricate sequences, it becomes much, much more, almost some kind of modern legend, elevating the very common struggles of adolescence into something universal, something epic, worth to be chiseled into stone, or to be made into a pulpy horror movie. Thanks for watching and listening. Goodbye.